Hi everyone, it's Lenny. I'm coming to you with a video of the fun fold we were going to make at our last crafty date. So without further ado, let's get started. So this one is called the Flip Flop Flap fun fold. I did get this design from another demonstrator, and I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I will put credit to her in the description of the video once I'm done. Alrighty, so first of all, you're going to need a card base that measures 8.5 by 4 1/4. This is all in inches. So this is going to form the base of your fun fold. Then you need another piece which is going to be 8 inches by 4 inches. This is going to be the flop part of the card. And your final piece of cardstock, which will be the flap part, is 7.5 by 3 3/4 inches. If you're joining, whether you're watching live or on the replay, please pop a comment up so that I know that you're there and you've watched it, and tell me what you think of this fun fold. I have never seen this one before, so now I recommend you make a template, which is, this is what mine is, and write which bit is which on your template. So the first bit, which was the card base, I've written that that is the flip. Then we have the flop. And then we have the flap. All right. Now, once we've got all those pieces cut, I have already put some DSP on the front of mine, but I also wrote on my template the measurements of the DSP for decoration. So I've gone with 1/4 of an inch down from every piece of this for the DSP, so it's really super easy. So the DSP is 4 by 4 inch squares, so that's what I've got on the front of mine. You can see I've used a green card base. And then for the next piece, you'll need, this is the flop, you'll need a piece of DSP 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 square. And then the last piece, the flap, you'll need a square 3.5 by 3.5 inches. And on my template, I also found this is really handy too. I have written where to put glue, okay? And what I recommend with your, once you start making it for real, is that you glue all your pieces of cardstock together before you start putting the DSP on, okay? Because it's really easy to put the DSP on the wrong bit. Okay, so if this was all glued together, we would have our base. We've got glue written on there, so that gets glued to there so that it flops down. Then this piece, I've written glue there and glue on the back of that one. It gets glued there. This one particularly, because it opens backwards, you might be inclined to put the glue in the wrong place so it opens the way we would normally open a cup. That opens backwards. Okay. So you don't have to glue your template together. In fact, I think it's better if you don't, because then it's easier when you're recreating it if all your pieces are separate. But do write glue on those correct pieces. So I've got my DSP, I've added to the front, and I have glued all my other pieces together. Okay, so you can see I've used a coordinating cardstock piece there, and I've used white here because this section here is where we are going to be writing our message. Okay, so I realised that if you want to stamp on here, it's glued in place, but this is still, you've got a flat surface. Okay, so I have my other pieces of DSP cut. So the first thing we're going to see when we open is this piece, and this is where I need my next piece of DSP, which I have chosen this one. I'm making this for one of my grandsons, who's a soccer player. So that's going to get glued down there. Let's do that now. Okay, it's good these pieces are square, so we don't have to worry about if it's directional paper, which way we stick it down. Then this part opens here, and our next piece of DSP, or you can use, die cuts, punches, whatever you want to decorate it with. I've actually picked, instead of a whole panel, which I gave you the measurements for, I've just picked this one to decorate here. So I'm going to stick that one down. This worked out to be the exact size, just by sheer luck, to fit on there. All right, and then we are going to be decorating this piece here. And I've chosen some cardstock and another element to go on there. So this cardstock is actually the size of the DSP that I gave you for that piece, which is 3.5 by 3.5. Just double check that, I'm pretty sure it is. Yep. And this piece goes on top. This is a really simple, fun fold, so I hope you enjoy it. So this these images are both from the same DSP pack, so that was convenient. So you can see why I said it's best to stick your card-based pieces down before adding the DSP. It would be very easy to get these in the wrong spot. Okay, and then we open this one up. So this is our flap. And I'm going to add this piece here. So this is the piece that is, oh, I don't know that I gave you a measurement for this piece. So if you do want to add a piece there, it's going to be exactly the same as this piece here, which I told you was 3.5 inches square. Okay, it's going to go there. Just as an extra little element there. When you open the card up, I thought that would be nice. And then I will stamp and write on that piece. And that is all we have to do now, really, is decorate the front. Now I've cut out a few pieces from that Soccer Match Designer Series paper. So I will put those on, and I've got a number 15 here for my grandson's 15th birthday, and I will put all those on off camera because you don't need to see me do that. And I just cut out an extra pair of boots here, so I might even put those maybe there, or maybe on here. Yeah, that probably looks better. I might colour in the boots for the front, so I will get to work on that. If I will, in the comments, I will post the written measurements for this card if you would prefer that, something easy to save. But just bear in mind that these live videos get deleted after a month. Facebook doesn't keep them forever, so make sure you get all the information before it gets deleted. All right, well, thanks very much for joining me, and I hope you will make this fun fold. And if you do, please post a picture of it in the Pepper Pots group. That would be lovely. All right, have a great rest of the day. Bye for now.